Then red lights go on, 15 minutes ahead of us, and the lights go out, but again it's a slow getaway for Adam Walker, so the train driver no longer at the front. It's David Williams that takes the lead of the race. Sam Satchwell is second. It's James Clennell on the inside, Chaz Hyde on the outside, Dan Gore trying to go between both of them, and he does so in the Metal Cars run car. He runs a little bit wide on the exit, not as wide as some, including Tom Gadd, as they make their way through Redgate and Hollywood for the first time. But it's David Williams leading, Sam Satchwell second, and James Clennell third.
Wellham's got 8 places already from the back.
Well, that's a very good start to the race for him. Higginson also making some progress in the green disc lock entered car. Wellham, as we know, needs to get to the front of the field. Let's see what he can do. It's still Williams and Clennell, who's on the grass and somehow comes out of it in front. Williams' car's on both sides. Clennell was too deep in. He went out onto the run off on the exit of the corner, and Higginson, who was about 5th, came through to take the lead.
That was quite something when they all arrived in short as one. Gore is second, Pollard's third, so he's in the top 4 already, and he's going for second. Gore and Gadd are side by side behind. Pollard is P2 now. He'd like to go out with a win. He couldn't manage that yesterday. So he's into second. He knows Tom Gadd is coming. He is fast too. Setting the fastest lap on the new record yesterday. Gadd can't quite get Gore though at Melbourne. I think Wellham is 6, so he's coming through the field really nicely. In the championship, hope's probably over with Pollard right up there. As Tom Gadd now alongside Dan Gore. They're going to be wheel to wheel on the run up towards the line. Yesterday we did 10 laps in F1000 racing.
Over the line they have gone then, and it's side by side for third position here. Gore and Gadd. Gore has the inside line in the number 80 car, and Gadd in the number 12 car is going to get him on the inside maybe as they go through Hollywood and down through the Craner curves for the second time. He has done, so Gadd goes third. So it's Higginson leading, Pollard second, Gadd third, Gore fourth. Is that Wellham now up to 5th? Yes, it is, I think, in the number 5 car. So he's made up, well, 13 places as it was in the end from the back of the grid. And let's see what more he can do from there. There is a bit of a gap back. Oh, and there's a car, and it is Adam, that's not Adam Walker, is it? It is the... can't see the number on the car because the wing end plate has been...
It is Adam Walker.
It is Adam Walker, yes. Yeah. That has gone off into the barriers, I'm afraid, on the exit of the old hairpin. He's gone off onto the inside of the circuit, but there's a challenge on for the lead here now. It's Craig Pollard getting alongside Matt Higginson. I think he's got his nose in front. He's got his whole car in front as they head down to the Fogarty S's. So it's Craig Pollard that now leads.
Matt Higginson was concerned about his straight line performance, and that kind of suggests that concern perhaps is valid, because he lost out in a straight line. He brakes really late on the outside. He's got Gadd and Gore with him. Wellham, we gained 11 spots on the opening lap. He's gained another, as you say, ahead of David Williams to go 5th. Here comes Gadd. Higginson said yesterday he was sort of letting others through. At that point, he was keeping Gadd at bay. That doesn't walk. He's out of the car. He's okay, but out of it, as are Chaz Hyde and Sam Satchwell, who pitted at the end of the first lap.
I'm not too surprised to see Wellham doing the best lap of the race there. 1:29.381. He was 8/10 faster than the car in front, and so has got himself really up into contention here in that lead group of 5 cars now as they work lap 3 of this race. So don't write Rob Wellham off from this position, although Pollard now is getting away from Higginson and Gadd. Higginson, yeah, if he is a bit down on power, that's not going to suit him at certain parts of the circuit. Be quick enough through the twisty bits, but Gadd might well be able to get him on the straight. They've obviously been for a yellow flag zone there with the Walker car off. We've also lost Hyde and Satchwell to the pits during the course of this race so far. So we're down to 15 cars circuit. It's a great shame for both of those drivers who started well up on the grid.
Craig Pollard's getting away while the others try and get past Higginson. Is Gadd going to do it? Yeah, Higginson's car, for whatever reason, does not have straight line performance, which is odd. So Gadd up into second, Higginson down to third, and you've got Gore and Wellham. And I wonder if there was contact between these two cars, because Sam Satchwell...
It's a damaged front left, isn't there?
Yeah, and the front end of Heighton's car doesn't look great either. I think he's lost the nose cone. So they're out of the race anyway. They're in the pits, so they're in a safe place. So we've got side by side here. Rob Wellham's on the outside of Dan Gore. Can't go through there just yet. Might do on the exit though. I wonder if Tom Gadd can go after Craig Pollard. Yes, he was only about a tenth or so quicker, so it'll be difficult. The gap between them it's not showing yet because we're waiting for Craig Pollard to pop up. He does now. He does a 1:28.4. So he's not quite as fast as he did yesterday, but he's pulling away from Tom Gadd. He's 1.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah, so we've got the Battle going on here for third place. Higginson and Wellham now, and Goddard. So Wellham not far away from getting into a podium position here as they move their way up towards McLean's for the fourth time, and he's straight up the inside of Higginson, and he goes into third place without too much difficulty there at all. He's a really quick driver, the driver from Suffolk, champion in 2022. He was the runner-up in the championship last year. He was third in 2021 as well. So he's been there or thereabouts in F1000 for a few seasons now, Rob Wellham, and still mathematically, at least for the moment, is in contention for this year's championship as well.
Gadd might be catching Pollard on this lap for the race victory. Of course, Pollard doesn't want to chuck it off the road here, does he? So I wonder if he's just driving slightly within himself to assure that. Gadd, the two Mattel cars are side by side now. That's Gore, isn't it? Dan Gore in his last day possibly in this car as well, with Higginson alongside. So the class of F1000 next year might look quite different, I think, with some drivers moving on to other things. Interestingly, this time it's Gadd's time that's not showing, but Pollard's had, so I don't know why that would happen. But anyway, 27, new lap record, 1:27.708 for Tom Gadd. I thought it was quick as he was catching the leader. That's 6 tenths faster than yesterday, so that's another lap record. Tom Gadd's going to have quite a few fastest laps over the course of the season, I think. I think he's the fastest driver around Cadwell Park this year. He won't quite be the fastest driver around Donington Park. The GB3 cars are quicker, but little else is. And he's caught Craig Pollard. Can Tom Gadd go out with a triple perhaps? Okay, he's only done one so far, but he's got huge amounts of pace, and he's on this run as well, isn't he, of wins. He won 2 at Croft, he won yesterday, he's won more than anybody else this year, and Craig Pollard might find it hard to keep him at bay.
He's just had that unreliability, though, at times during the season that has meant that his championship challenge has not really come to anything this season. He was close enough to challenge into Fogarty. Yes, he couldn't make it through there, but he carries good speed out of the corner now. Craig Pollard, of course, doesn't need to get drawn into a battle for the win here, because he only needs a decent finish to wrap up the championship. Well, not even that, unless Rob Wellham gets past him. But for the moment, he is hanging on here, Craig Pollard, the number 92 car, the accountant, finance director from Suffolk, ahead of number 12, Tom Gadd from Lincolnshire, former low-cost champion, of course, as well as the F1000 champion last year as well. I think it was the 2019 low-cost title winner. Over the line they've gone with only a quarter of a second between them. No improvement on the lap times from either of them, though, on that occasion. Rob Wellham, did he make any ground towards them? Yes, he did a little bit. But not a huge amount.
But a full second quicker than Pollard, I think, because Pollard's starting to defend. Yeah, he puts the car not right out on the racing line into the old hairpin. So that compromises him, and Tom Gadd then can perhaps challenge. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wellham gets with them if Gadd can't get past, which he can't at the moment. Craig Pollard stays ahead, uses all the curb, although Wellham's not really caught any more on this lap, seemingly. Through Coppice they turn. There's Wellham in third, ahead of Gore, who's fourth, and he's gone away from Higginson. Gore's not much lower than Wellham either here, so Dan Gore going well in his last weekend in the car. Here comes Tom Gadd, though, on the inside into Craig Pollard. Pollard, I think, lets him have it once he got alongside, and through into the lead of the race goes Tom Gadd, looking for that extra victory. Maybe Pollard fighting back, though, had a better exit, but can't get him back through, so it is Tom Gadd ahead.
And Wellham continuing to close in on both of them as well, I reckon, as they're probably just slowing each other down a little bit. Maybe now Tom Gadd has got in front, he can get his head down and pull away from Craig Pollard. He's got 6 more minutes of the race to go, probably 4 more laps of this race to go here. Could conceivably be even more than that, couldn't it? Just depends on when they show the checker flag. I don't think we quite had 15 minutes yesterday. It was 14 minutes 56 yesterday. But this time it is Gadd leading by 4 tenths from Pollard, and then it's another 9 tenths basically back to Wellham in third. But he did a personal best lap time that time through, 1:28.247. So too did Dan Gore, actually, who's in 4th place, but now a couple of seconds behind Wellham.
Just wonder if Tom Gadd will rethink what he might be doing next year with how this weekend is going. Because he is absolutely flying aboard his Jedi, the 27-year-old, in his Suzuki-powered car. Then Pollard is second, the double V-champ. and Wellham in third. Dan Gore is going with them, isn't he? Which he wasn't able to do yesterday. He is lapping about a second quicker than he did yesterday, is Dan Gore, the driver from London, the ex-Caterham race winner. And he's been in the championship since 2019, and he's, I think, won about 6 races in the category in that time. There he is at the back of the group. Meanwhile, battle's a bit further back. That includes James Hills, who is catching David Williams. So 88 Williams, who started at the front, has been caught then by James Hills for 9th position. Hills has been about half a second or so faster in this race than David Williams. Ahead of them is Chris Keir, who's come through well from 13th on the grid. Didn't have such a good race yesterday. The ex-Clio driver from Newcastle in his Suzuki-powered car.
And here is Hills up on the inside of Williams, and he squeezes his way through there to take the position. So that is 9th place that he takes there. Now getting ahead of Williams. Williams trying to fight back on the way into Redgate Corner, but I don't think he's close enough to make that work. Meanwhile, Gadd now has a 9/10 of a second lead over Pollard, and Wellham didn't really make much ground up towards Pollard on that lap, did he?
No, that's all right, because Pollard's done a PB that's helped with his case. Gadd's done another 27, which is impressive, because of course we didn't get to that point yesterday.
Question mark now for where Zach Palmer is, because he's got a little exclamation mark next to himself on the timing screen. We've lost Bert Chapman to the pits as well, by the way, but Zach Palmer in the number 71 car may have gone missing out on track. Meanwhile, that is the battle going on between Higginson and Tom Westworth now for 5th position. Tom, who went well yesterday, didn't he, is now challenging Higginson for P5 as they make their way through. Was there a driver there with the marshals standing on the marshals post halfway down to the Melbourne hairpin? Possibly that's maybe where we've lost Zach Palmer.
Westworth 22 there in car number 3, 22 years of age, an ex-Northwest Cadet karting champion in a new car for this year. The driver has been karting since the age of 6. Chris Keir, who had been going so well, he has stopped near a marshal post on the run down towards the Melbourne Loop and is out of 8th position.
You're doing a very good job of cursing drivers this weekend, Josh, I'm afraid. So Chris Keir now sadly out of the race. So that's going to promote that Hills and Williams battle. And also Ryan Thomas, I think, will come up into the top 10 as well. He was a non-starter yesterday, so he'll be pleased to bounce back with that if he can keep it there all the way to the end. Behind Westworth, James Clennell there in 7th place. He's not too far behind these two after that dramatic opening lap he had up towards McLean's.
Of course, absolutely right. He finished on the podium in the 50th anniversary Formula V meeting, did Clennell. There's Keir out of his car, and he is with the marshal there. Good battle, although for one car that won't be classified, of course, because that's the 33 car of Lee Seagraves. But he is with Mark Betts in 89, long-time 750 Motor Club driver in the TGM run car. So they climb the hill towards Coppet. Pollard's got into the 27s, by the way. 1:27.992 for Craig Pollard. So he's going with Tom Gadd. I wonder if he would have fought a bit harder for that win if he didn't need to finish that race where he was, just so he can clinch the championship, because he seems to be pretty much on par with Gadd.
Higgins, I sort of think, has slowed across the line. We didn't see that on our screen, but I just saw that out of our window. He's been passed by Westworth, and there was a slow green car going past our commentary box window a moment ago.
And yellow flags, I can see.
Yeah, so it looks like he's probably come to a stop. There he is, just on the run up to Redgate Corner, just by the pit lane exit. So quite an attritional race this, Josh. Quite a few cars not making it to the end. It wouldn't surprise me if we did get the checkered flag at the end of this lap, even though it might be a few seconds before the 15 minutes, because there are now a few cars spread around the circuit.
Wonder if Higginson's engine, that's perhaps been a bit sick, has given up totally now. So that's also promoted James Clennell into the top 6. There's Hills and Williams, so they're still together in 8th and 9th, which becomes 7th and 8th. So 77 is in 7th, 88 is in 8th.
That's a nice symmetry to it, as the leaders are down at the Melbourne hairpin for the 10th time in this race. Gadd and Pollard making their way through the hairpin up towards Goddard. There's Gadd, there's Pollard, Can't see a checkered flag. So it looks like we are going to go the full distance with 5 seconds to go. Wellham still there in third. The gaps have gone out a little bit at that time amongst all three of them.
Gadd has done 10 laps, 5 seconds quicker than he did yesterday, despite starting on the 5th row of the grid rather than on the front row. So that shows you how quick this race has been. So Dan Gore, who's in 4th, would have basically done those 10 laps as quick as Tom Gadd did yesterday to win.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we had some rain yesterday, but it was dry by their race, I think. In full dry conditions, the lap time's really fast today. The top 4 have all gone quicker than anyone did yesterday. And I think we went about a second underneath the lap record yesterday, so the lap time is absolutely phenomenal this weekend.
Spoiling that symmetry, David Williams has got ahead of James Hills and up into 7th position now in the number 88 car. The number 77 car is now down to 8th place. Leaders already down towards the Foggetiesses for what definitely is the final time of this race, the 11th lap. They're turning their way through there now, down towards the Melbourne hairpin. So Tom Gadd is going to secure a 4th race win in a row, and he's definitely now won the most races this season. They'll be up to 6 altogether. But Craig Pollard is going to be in 2nd place. So through Goddard for the final time, it's Tom Gadd, 6th race win of the season, but Craig Pollard's 2nd place is enough for him to wrap up the 2024 F1000 Championship. He's done a single-seater double with the 750 Motors Club, Formula V champion 2 years ago, F1000 champion this year. Rob Wellham, number 5, takes 3rd place. A great drive from him from the back of the grid. Number 80, Dan Gore, takes 4th position. Tom Westworth just going across the line now to complete the top 5. And James Clennell, after an eventful race for him, he finishes in 6th position.
That's right, and those 6 a long way ahead of anybody else. They were in a class of their own, all lapping, I think, underneath the lap record before this weekend. So such is the pace. But it's absolutely side by side for 7th. Coup the line. Can James Hills get back through? No, he can't. He was 43 thousandths of a second away from David Williams. So that was a very close finish between those two. A lap down there, Mick Frith. He takes a checkered flag. The ex-World Sidecar Championship passenger. And then the final car takes a checkered flag now, so that ends the penultimate race of the season for F1000.
It does, and James Connell, by the way, has gone back ahead of Sam Satchwell in the race for the Clubman Cup as well, with that 6th place finish and a non-finish for Sam Satchwell there. So another very entertaining race in the F1000 Championship, a very fast race as well. We squeezed another lap out of it compared to yesterday as well. Tom Gadd the quickest drive, but Craig Pollard wrapping up the championship. Here's the confirmation of those results at the end of 11 laps. It was number 12, Tom Gadd, that took the victory. From number 92, Craig Pollard in 2nd place with just over 1 second between them in the end. 3rd was number 5, that was Rob Wellham. 4th was the 80 car of Dan Gore. In 5th position was number 3, Tom Westworth. 6th was 42, James Clennell. 7th, number 88, David Williams. 8th was 77, James Hills. 9th, number 9, Ryan Thomas. Rounding out the top 10 was the number 89, Mark Betts. Then 11th was Michael Frith. And I think the only other car that will have finished that race in actual fact is going to be
the car that gets taken out the results.
The car that's taken out of the results. Yes, Michael Frith, effectively the final finish. So quite a high rate of attrition in that one. We're going to go into our lunch break very shortly. We'll hear from our top 3 first of all. Josh?
Maybe it's a good job for some that the race isn't for some time. Their
Yes.
final race, because there's a lot of cars to be sorted for
Yes.
that final race of the day, the final race of the weekend, which will be for these cars.
It's 5:45. Yes, after lunch we're getting back underway at 1:20 with the Gashox 116 Trophy. That's a 90-minute race. We've got the second race of the weekend for the National Lighting Toyota MR2 Championship. That's a 15-minute race with that championship now decided. The Skiwa Club Enduro Championship is underway at 3:30, a 2-hour race, and at 5:45 we're going to have the F1000 Championship. So I think the only sort of championship we still need to sort out now is the Clubman's Cup in Club Enduro. I think everything else really has been, apart from Class B and MR2s, that's really what we still need to do as well. Anyway, they're ready downstairs now. Matt Suckling is going to have a word with our top 3 at the end of the F1000 Championship race.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, down here with Tom Gadd, who is now a 6-time winner this year. You like to carve your way through the field. You did it nicely in that one.
Yeah, so always with these reverse grid races, you know, when you got the quicker guys who finish on the podium before, they're going to be ahead of you, so you've got to get through with them and get through as quick as you can. And it was nice and clean, everyone left plenty of room, and it was good racing the first couple of laps. I just carved my way through nicely, and I knew Craig would head me. I hope I was going to catch him, but I thought I'd sit behind him if not. But I knew he wasn't going to risk anything, so I knew I had to put a move on him and try and get ahead of him if I could.
Some really quick laps as well from you, Tom. I think you did the quickest lap once again, and every single lap was just quicker and quicker and quicker. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, my feet were getting a bit cold. I was struggling to brake in some places. I couldn't feel my feet, and I was like, oh, it feels quick, but I was like, I'm starting to struggle a bit here. But no, it's been a good weekend. Thanks for everyone at the team, and yeah.
I think you're the only man this year who's done the double. You've done a double last time out at Croft, I think it was, and you've done a double here so far this weekend. No one's done the triple, so do you reckon you can get that at the end of the weekend?
It'd be nice. I've not done a triple since Croft 2019 in the low cost, so I've not had one since. But no, we're going to go for it. I'd like to dedicate that one to my niece, nephew, cousin. I don't know what relation she is, but it's her birthday today, and they're all watching at home. So happy birthday, Dottie.
There we go, you've done it. Tom, good luck for the final race as well. Craig Pollard, who finished in second place. And Craig, we think you've done enough now to be provisional champion for this year. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's about it. We were only working out the maths this morning. Doesn't quite feel real yet. Yeah, so much has gone into this year, and it comes down to the last weekend, and you can barely enjoy it. You feel sick. So really, all I want to do now is go out and enjoy the last race.
That's what you got to do. It was a tough one there, though, wasn't it? Because Tom was coming and you were trying to fight to keep him at bay, but did you kind of realise in the end just to let him go?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the end of the day I was driving in my mirrors. I wasn't looking where I was going anymore, so I thought, Tom, you go ahead. If I can try and keep on the back of you, then that's the best I can hope for.
It's been a hard-fought season. You've done well. You've got there. You can now have some fun in that final race.
Yeah, looking forward to chilling out, and that's the reward for everyone else. My dad, Tony, Graham, everyone, Peter, everyone's worked really hard this year. So pleased.
Great, congratulations. Go and let it sink in now. Well done, F1000 champion for this year. The man who lost out, unfortunately, Rob Wellham. Rob, you get a podium in this second race. Unfortunate in yesterday's encounter. What happened first off in race one?
The master switch went, so it could have gone all year round or in testing, but it decided to go this weekend. But it's one of those things, parts have their lifespan, and it wasn't meant to be. Well done to Craig and all of his family. They've done well this year. But yeah, no, we're just going to enjoy this end of this year and look forward to the next one.
You can keep your head held high because you had a cracking race there. You've had a cracking season, to be fair. You flew from the back of the field up into third place. You're just trying to pick your way through as best as possible.
Yeah, I'm surprised the start I sort of got. It was an okay start. It wasn't the best start in the world, but just picked them off one by one, and everyone just sort of bunched up in the right places, and I just managed to creep through. And then I saw these guys ahead, and I was pushing really hard, but just the tyre, I think I'd cooked the tyres a little bit too much in the first stint, and then they started coming back to me towards the end. But that's fine. That's just one of those things. I'm glad to come from the back to at least third, so it's not worth it this weekend. So
one final push though, try and get the final win of the year. That would be a nice way to end the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure me, Tom, Craig are all going to go for it in the next one. I don't know what lap times for the grid. So yeah, it'll be a fun last race of the year.
Unlucky, Rob, but good luck for the final race as well. So there we go, our F1000 drivers done and dusted for race number 2. They've got the final hurrah to come later on this afternoon. Do not miss that. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic race. In the meantime, we're going to do a pit walk in just a few minutes, but first, here's some ads for you to enjoy.